Money in the Bank 2019 is just 3 weeks away from tonight. And with that being said, we still don't have any of the participants officially announced by WWE. So in this video, I'm going to let you know the 6 participants I'd like to see in both the men and the women's Money in the Bank ladder matches. And this video starts right now. What is going on out there? It's your boy Tommy on the spot. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you guys are getting ready for Monday Night Raw, getting ready for a huge weekend in pro wrestling, a huge week of pro wrestling as we continue that build to Money in the Bank, which has really become kind of that, I'd say like a top 5 show for WWE. I'd say is almost kind of replaced King of the Ring in a way. King of the Ring used to be obviously the big 5 for WWE, and it feels almost like now it's become Money in the Bank. It feels like it's obviously the big 4, which are Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. And then I'd say Money in the Bank is right there with them. And so I think this is a show that WWE usually does a little closer to the summer for a variety of reasons. They've actually decided to make this the show following WrestleMania. But in a way, I think that's good because I think that Money in the Bank is a show that attracts people to the show regardless of whatever else is on the card. And this year on the card, we already have AJ Styles and Seth Rollins announced. We already have Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair announced. Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans announced, and Roman Reigns against Elias. So with that being said, the card's already shaping up quite nicely, but we still don't have any of the participants at least officially announced for either of the Money in the Bank ladder matches, which really I feel like the Money in the Bank ladder matches, similarly to the traditional Survivor Series matches or the Royal Rumble matches, are the matches that really sell this show. So I said, why not jump on with you guys tonight, get ready for a week here while the weekend kind of winds down, if you will, and let you guys know who I'd like to see in the Money in the Bank matches. And just in case you guys are just stumbling upon this channel for the very first time, we are Watch Along Wrestling. We do live streams, we do reviews, we do vlogs, and we are and thank you guys for checking us out. Thank you guys for stumbling upon us, whether you're here for the first time or if you're a returning subscriber. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time here with us today. All right, so Money in the Bank, obviously there's going to be a men's match, there's going to be a women's match. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go traditionally with this. Typically, the Money in the Bank ladder match is 6 participants. At least that's how it's always been traditionally, I guess, from WrestleMania 21, 22. And then it kind of evolved over time with some of the later Money in the Bank matches. But I'm going to go with 6. I know they may end up doing 7 or doing 8. God, I feel like any more than 8 is just far too much, but who knows? So let's start with the women here. 6 women from 3. I'm going to go 3 Raw, 3 SmackDown. And really, the rosters are super thin. Like, I know there's people who are not thrilled with the idea that Lacey Evans is going for the Raw Women's Championship. There really are not too many other options on Raw or even on SmackDown. I know people aren't thrilled about seeing Charlotte Flair again, but in all honesty, when you look at the Raw Women's roster, and I'm going to pull it up here for you guys right now, the Raw Women's roster. All right, let's take a look at this. The Raw Women's roster. You have Tamina, who's kind of like a good veteran, but I don't think at this point anyone's taking Tamina to be somebody who is going to be going for the Women's Championship, right? You have Sasha Banks, who's kind of MIA right now. Sarah Logan, Ruby Riott. Ronda, who's MIA right now. Nia Jax, who's injured. Natalya, Naomi, Lacey Evans, Dana Brooke, Beth Phoenix, who's listed on the roster, but she's more of like a Hall of Famer. I think she was just kind of in for WrestleMania. Alicia Fox and Alexa Bliss. So let's take Sasha. Let's move her to the side. Let's say she's not going to count. Ronda doesn't count. And Nia Jax doesn't count. You're really left with Alexa, Alicia, Dana Brooke, Naomi, Natalya, and Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and Tamina as your possibilities to get 3 women on the Raw side of things. So the way I'm going to go with this, I'm going to go with Alexa Bliss. Obviously, Alexa Bliss won the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match last year, cashed in that same night, and won the title, setting up a big program between her and Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam. Just makes a lot of sense, especially when tomorrow they're promoting that a Moment of Bliss is really going to give us the participants for the Money in the Bank ladder matches. So that's what I'm thinking they're going to do. I think Alexa Bliss is in the match. Second person I think is in the match is Naomi. Seems like they're really building her up as somebody who could potentially do some damage on the Raw side of things. I think she's going to be kind of a face of that Raw kind of women's roster. So I'm going to put Naomi in there. My third woman, I was going a couple different ways with this here. One could be to give the nod to Ruby Riott, and I'd love to see that, or maybe Sarah Logan. But it does seem like right now they're almost on the edge of pushing Dana Brooke a bit. I know that sounds completely silly when Dana Brooke really hasn't been like seen as any sort of threat, but you've had Sam Roberts go out of his way to make these remarks recently about Dana Brooke doesn't belong there, Dana Brooke isn't very good on main event, and you've had Dana Brooke kind of cutting promos right and left about how, hey, maybe she's not somebody who's a main contender, but she's somebody who she really thinks can get to that point and can challenge Becky Lynch. Plus, in the Money in the Bank ladder matches, there's typically that one person who they like to kind of build up with the match. So I think Dana Brooke is going to be my person. So from Raw, go with Alexa Bliss, I'm going with Naomi, and I'm going with Dana Brooke. And then on to the SmackDown side of things, I think first and foremost, so I'm actually going to eliminate a couple people here. I'm going to not include Asuka and Kairi Sane. They're doing their best to kind of promote these two as a tag team right now. It wouldn't make much sense to kind of already shift them away from what they're doing. I'm also not going to include the Iconics since they're the women's tag team champions. So the way I'm going to actually go with this is starting off first with Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Both of them I'm going to put in the match. Seemed like both these women were on the precipice of the SmackDown title picture, SmackDown Women's title picture heading towards WrestleMania. And then they were kind of pulled out of it. So I don't think that that's really the way they're going to go. I think that they're going to be brought back into it. What better way to do that than to have those women profiled in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match? You can kind of continue to build the continued hostility between the two. We've all been waiting for them to kind of burst a bit and kind of separate. So you can have that in there. Will they work together in the Money in the Bank, or will it be every woman for themselves? And then the last person I'm going to put in is Bayley. Bayley came within a hair of defeating Charlotte on SmackDown. They actually had a really good match, and I think they're building Bayley back up as a, at least I'm hoping so, as a viable contender. And Montreal is certainly not hoping so. They did not like Bayley very much. But Bayley's someone that I hope that she can get a little rehabbed a little bit and move towards, more of a high-profile scene on the women's side of things. So on Raw, and I think that now being a single, this is the spot for her. So to recap, on Raw, I'm going with Alexa Bliss, Naomi, Dana Brooke. On SmackDown, I'm going with Bayley, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville. That's my 6 women. If they end up adding a 7th, who knows? Maybe they could add someone like a Ruby Riott, maybe a Liv Morgan, maybe an Ember Moon, someone like that. But I think that if they stick with the 6, that's the way that they'd go with it. So, all right, let's move over to the men's side of things. I feel like just kind of looking at the landscape of things, it's really tough because so many men have kind of bounced around all over the place. What I've decided to do with this is obviously anyone who's in a match, I'm not including. I was going to not include champions, but while we start with kind of on the SmackDown side of things this time, I think Finn Balor is going to be in this match. He's the Intercontinental Champ. He doesn't necessarily have anybody who he'd be feuding with kind of on SmackDown. And right now, I feel like SmackDown's kind of going out of their way to, deal with a couple different, circumstances of people not being there. Daniel Bryan, Sheamus, neither of those guys have been there on SmackDown. And I think they've also done a good job kind of I think they're going with a slow burn to introduce some of the newer characters like Aleister Black, like Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy's getting the treatment of getting some videos and different packages to that extent. I would love to see someone like Shinsuke Nakamura or Rusev in there. Maybe it looked like they were on the verge of maybe splitting these two guys up, but I'm not going to go that direction right now because the SmackDown tag division is really kind of weak right now if you get rid of them. So I'm not going to go that route. Also not going to include Jinder. I was real close to including Jinder. I feel like, man, this is a guy they could kind of rehab a bit, give him the rub by putting him in the match. But I'm not going to go that direction. Instead, I'm also going to include Andrade. He's kind of been paired up with Finn Balor a bit. And Andrade is a guy that I'd love to see get that spotlight there kind of on him and kind of be able to do some really unique things with the ladder and have him in that match as a guy who's super athletic and who can really do a lot of damage. So I'm putting Andrade in there with Finn Balor. My third guy is Ali. Ali has been someone that it's been a real shame because this guy, remember, he was in the Elimination Chamber match before Kofi Mania was even a thought. I mean, he was in that match, ended up getting injured, which was a tough break for him, but I guess that's kind of the business, and was replaced by Kofi. And then obviously Kofi just, boom, took off into the stratosphere. So I'm thinking that Ali deserves that kind of that spotlight there, get that chance to kind of get things going. And so I'm going to put Ali in that match. It's going to be Ali, it's going to be Finn Balor, and it's going to be Andrade. And then on the Raw side of things, a couple things that I'm doing. Again, guys like Lars Sullivan, gonna give Lars a little bit of time to kind of build himself up, so I'm not putting him into the match. Instead, though, I am going to be putting Ricochet in the match. And I know Ricochet is also new. He's also just getting established right now. He's a guy that I think is just awesome, though. And you want to see Ricochet in the Money in the Bank match. He's exciting. What is he going to do if he's in the Money in the Bank match? Obviously, I don't think that he's in a position where he's going to win right now because he's still up and coming. He's still kind of new. But I think that he can be kind of like that role years ago. I'll never forget the year Tyson Kidd was in the Money in the Bank. And it was like, man, bank on the kid. Like, it was like he was going to get that chance to shine. And he had a couple of really good high spots in the match that you really can kind of get behind. And I think Ricochet's kind of like in that role here. But I do expect that Ricochet will be in the match. Then moving along on the Raw side of things, Drew McIntyre. I feel like this is really Drew McIntyre's match to lose. He's the odds-on favorite, in my opinion, to have that chance to get the Money in the Bank and then see where he goes from there. Another guy that I'm going to put in the match and kind of close things out here is The Miz. The Miz is somebody who's gotten over ridiculous. Like, this guy is getting some of the best reactions you've ever seen kind of on the Raw side of things right now. Him, Seth Rollins, he's like right behind Rollins on Raw in terms of like how much the crowd's really behind him. So I think he's another big name for the match. And then I think it kind of rounds out nicely. You have Finn Balor, who's your Intercontinental champ. You have Drew McIntyre, who's just been built up as like an unstoppable beast. Then you also have The Miz, who's another fan favorite. Ricochet, who people will really want to see in that match. And then Ali, who I think needs a little bit of rehabbing. But by being in this match, kind of similarly how I put Dana in the match, I think he can get a lot out of this by being a part of the match. So I like it. So that is my men's Money in the Bank. Now, if they decide to add one or two more, which they could always do, they could always add in my favorite in years, Mr. Baron Corbin, right? They could also add in Bobby Lashley, a guy like him who hasn't really been featured. They could add in Braun Strowman, but I think Strowman's going to be paired up with Joe, which is why I didn't put Strowman in my original 6. So that's who you got there. So again, to recap, the women, I've got on the SmackDown side of things, I got Bayley, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville. On the Raw side of things, I got Naomi, Dana Brooke, Alexa Bliss. Then on the men's Money in the Bank, on the Raw side of things, on the SmackDown side of things, to start off, we've got Finn Balor, we've got Ali, and we've got Andrade. Then on the Raw side of things, we've got The Miz, Drew McIntyre, and Ricochet. So that is my men's Money in the Bank ladder match, as well as my women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Let me know if you guys agree with my choices. If you don't, let me know who you think is going to be in those matches. And I will be back tomorrow night to go over and live stream with you guys on the final hour of Monday Night Raw. If you want to watch the whole show, cool. If not, if you can only tune in for an hour, join me for the final hour. I'll break down everything you might have missed, and we'll watch the final hour together. It's always a great time, and I'd love to have you guys join me tomorrow night. So that's going to do it. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of this. Keep it locked here to Watch Along Wrestling. Subscribe. If you subscribe, turn on the bell. Then when I randomly show up on a Sunday night, you're already ready to go. Oh, wow. It pops up on your phone. Oh, crap. Watch Along Wrestling. They're live streaming right now. Let me jump on there, see what they have to say, and see what's going on. We're going to do another live stream middle of the week, something real fun. We're going to go over all of the Survivor Series packages that have came out. They just announced the Survivor Series travel packages. And so I wanted to go through that with you guys, do a little vlog ski on that, but a live stream vlog so we could talk about it together if that's something you want to do. So in any event, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Leave a big thumbs up, subscribe, and let's have a great week, everybody. Follow me over on Twitter at WatchWrestlePod. Follow me on Instagram, Watch Along Wrestling, and subscribe here to Watch Along Wrestling. Until next time, everybody, I am Tommy on the Spot. Have a great day.